Hello everybody. Today I am going to be reviewing one of my favorite games Catalyst has made a remake of, and that is Leviathans. So, before I start opening up this starter box, might as well give some little background on the lore. 1914. A glorious year for innovation, tragedy, and absolutely catastrophic decision-making. The world's gone mad with electroid fever, and every nation's building bigger, louder, and far more expensive ways to blow each other out of the sky. Now, let's talk about the contenders in this fine international brawl. France kicked things off early, jack of all trades, but a master of none. Their ships can do a bit of everything, just not particularly well. Think of them as the baguettes of the skies. Good with anything, great with nothing. Germany, on the other hand, builds flying fortresses that handle like a brick in a hurricane. Terrible maneuvering, sure, but that armor's thick enough to make a cannonball cry, and their guns will ruin your day in the most organized and efficient way possible. Britain, the proud empire of tea and overcompensation. Their guns hit the hardest, shoot the furthest, but they turn slower than government paperwork. They also have this charming little habit of firing everywhere except where they're aiming. Coordination, never heard of it. Then there's Italy, the speed demons. Fastest ships in the sky, can throw more torpedoes than a sailor throws insults, but their armor's about as sturdy as paper. Still, they look good exploding, I'll give them that much. Russia's ships are rough, but their crews, top notch. They can fix a hole mid-battle with spitting a little bit of vodka, and their gunnery is precise enough to hit a fly on a zeppelin fin. Shame their ships fall apart faster than a czar's dynasty. Now, for the others. Austria-Hungary loves ramming, literally. Their ships are basically flying battering rams, though their crews couldn't organize a tea party without losing somebody overboard. Japan, fast and furious, and all about that short-range brutality. Great up close, terrible at hitting anything beyond spitting distance. And last but not least, the United States. They've got fancy gadgets, Tesla guns, smoke screens, and targeting systems that actually work. If it sparks, hums, or explodes in blue lightning, odds are it's theirs. So there you have it, folks. The world's finest nations, armed to the teeth, ready to prove who's best at turning perfectly good sky into flaming wreckage. So now that we got some of that out of the way, let's start opening this box. So this is the starter box, like I said. I'm going to be reviewing some of the other Leviathans boxes in the near future. Some of the fleet boxes I have over to my side. Operation Ragnar, Operation Hannibal, and maybe I'll do some comparisons to the old classic. But let's get into this. So, the starter comes with those French and German ships. When I first open it up, little quick start rulebook. I have taken a quick browse through here. It has the rules for planes and stuff. As far as I can tell, it does not have any torpedo rules, but I may have just missed that. Next up, we have the map that comes with the starter box. Love these maps. I might do some reviews on all the maps I have for it, and maybe some others I find or stuff, compare it to old ones. Really like them. Then we got some little tokens for zone control and other stuff. We have some tokens to identify which ships are which on the battlefield, to have little token ships, so you can either play with extra ships on the field or transport them easier, which is real nice. And some planes. Yes, there are planes in this version. I am very happy that there's planes. I really need to learn how to play with them, because I love them. I have noticed there are no torpedo tokens, though, which is a little disappointing. I really wish they gave us some of those. But moving on, when we first open up, there are some cards, some ships, all that in here. But let's start first with 2 dry erase markers. So in the game, when you play and you damage a ship, you will mark off what's damaged with a dry erase marker. Now, I have noticed, I've heard, that the dry erase markers on the standard cards do cause the cards to fade a little over time. So I would recommend doing what I have done and putting some card covers or protectors over all your ship cards, and just if you have the time or the amount or the money, try and get them over all your cards just to keep them from getting ruined. So this box comes with 4 ships, 2 German and 2 French. The first one is a Foch-class destroyer from the Germans. If you take a look at that, oh man, paint job's amazing. I really like this. There are 2 versions of the Foch class that come in this. There is the SML Low, and the SML Silo. Siloet. You get the point. I'll put them on screen.
The German Foch-class destroyer is the most common Leviathan in both the German fleet and the world. Ships of this class serve not only in the Luftmarine, but also with the Swiss mercenaries, the Argentine Sky Fleet, the Swedish Sky Fleet, and numerous other forces worldwide. Each vessel measures about 252 feet long, 71 feet wide, and 79 feet tall, and utilizes coal as its main fuel type. The SML Low has a structural integrity of 20, has 7 movement points, and requires 2 hexes before turning. It can reach speeds of 34 knots, and can carry a complement of about 88 men. It is armed with a turreted 10.5 centimeter cannon on its bow, along with 2 additional 10.5 centimeter guns on each side. It has armor that covers the front and both sides, and it has an anti-air rating of 1 green die. The SML Silo shares the same movement points, turning radius, and structural integrity as the Low, but thanks to its slip shaft, it reaches 35 knots. It mounts a turreted 12 centimeter cannon on the bow and 1 10.5 centimeter gun on each side. The Silo also features chaff launchers on both sides and a screening crew stationed on the bow. Its anti-air rating remains 1 green die, like the Low, and it carries a complement of about 81 men. While the Low offers superior firepower and armor, this is somewhat unusual, since the Silo, with its screening crew, would logically be better protected. Both destroyers lack rear-facing weapons, leaving them vulnerable to rare envelopment. However, while the Lower focuses on strength, the Silo trades armor for improved maneuverability, granted by the slip shaft.
Next up, we have the Greif class cruiser from the Germans.
The German Greif-class cruiser represents a shift in the German Leviathan design philosophy. Earlier cruisers were nearly twice as fast, but the arrival of the Kayse-class battleship forced fleets to slow down and adopt tighter formations. As a result, the Greif traded high-speed engines for heavy armor, allowing it to maneuver in close coordination with the Kayse. The Greif's strength lies in its durability and protection, though its slower speed makes it vulnerable when operating alone. Each Greif measures about 382 feet long, 110 feet wide, and 118 feet tall, and utilizes coal for fuel. The SML Hanover is built for high firepower and strong armor. It has 25 structural integrity, 5 movement points, and requires 2 hexes before turning, with a max speed of 24 knots. Its armament includes a turreted 15cm cannon and a 10.5cm cannon, both on the bow protected by 2 armor, along with 2 10.5cm guns and 2 armor on each side. Finally, it carries 1 armor plate on the stern. It also fields 1 blue die of anti-air defense, while holding a complement of about 241 men. The SML Brandenburg, meanwhile, has 24 structural integrity, but otherwise has the same movement points and turn rate as the Hanover's design. The addition of a slip shaft on the ship grants improved maneuverability and increases its speed to 25 knots. It mounts 2 15cm turreted guns on the bow with 2 armor, as well as 1 10.5cm gun and 2 armor per side, but it mounts no stern weapons, though its stern armor is reinforced by 1. Like the Hanover, it carries 1 blue die of anti-air, but carries a complement of about 233 men. Both the Hanover and Brandenburg share the same resilience and purpose within the fleet, but their strengths lie in different areas. The Hanover excels in broadside and frontal attacks, making it more self-sufficient in drawn-out fights. The Brandenburg, meanwhile, offers better maneuverability and tighter coordination with the fleet thanks to its slip shaft. However, its reduced side firepower leaves it more dependent on escorts. Much like the Low and Sea Low, neither ship has rear-facing weaponry, leaving them open to attacks from astern.
Now we go into the French, and I'm going to actually start with their destroyer first. This is the Grenouille. Alexa, how do you pronounce Grenouille?
I pronounce that Grenouille, but I'm always working on how I say things and I might not have it right.
Grenouille. Grenouille.
The French Grenouille-class destroyer was born from political tension within the French military during the early years of the Great Sky Race. A budget dispute between the emerging Sky Fleet and traditional Navy admirals led to the class being deliberately underfunded, intended to fail, and discredit sky warfare. Yet, the Grenouille turned this sabotage into triumph. Despite cost-cutting measures in nearly every area except the engines, it proved reliable, adaptable, and effective. During its first naval exercises, the class outperformed expectations, securing its place in the French fleet. Each ship measures about 252 feet long, 94 feet wide, and 106 feet tall, and the majority utilize oil. The Aquitaine is one of the few coal-powered Grenouille-class destroyers. It has a structural integrity of 19, 9 movement points, and requires 1 hex before turning. The ship can reach speeds of 45 knots and carries a turreted 65mm cannon on its bow, supported by 2 more 65mm cannons on each side and 1 65mm cannon on the stern. Its armor consists of 1 plate on the bow and 1 on each side, offering moderate protection. The Aquitaine also features a yellow dye anti-air rating and operates with a crew of about 89 men. The La Gloire refines the Grenouille design into a faster, more aggressive warship. It retains the structural integrity of 19 and maintains the 1 hex turn radius, but increases to 12 movement points and benefits from steering gear for tighter maneuvering. With a top speed of 61 knots, it stands among the fastest destroyers in the sky. The La Gloire mounts 2 turreted 75mm bow guns, 1 torpedo on each side, and 1 75mm stern cannon, while being supported by 1 armor plate on each side. It also boasts a superior black die anti-air rating. Crewed by about 77 men and powered by oil, it was designed as a close-in fighter, built to cross the rear T of larger enemy ships and strike from their blind spots. While both ships share the same frame and durability, they differ in philosophy. The Aquitaine emphasizes endurance and balanced firepower, while the La Gloire trades protection and crew size for speed, maneuverability, and striking power. Together, they demonstrate the adaptability that made the Grenouille class a lasting symbol of the flotte de volée.
I have just noticed one of these has torpedoes. So it is weird that, as far as I can tell, there are no torpedo rules in this rulebook, and that there are no torpedo tokens, which I think there really should have been, considering the ship has torpedoes. And the last ship we have in this batch is the French cruiser, the Falcon class.
The French Falcon-class cruiser was developed as a cost-effective successor to the prestigious but expensive Liberté line. Designed to retain the versatility and combat focus of its predecessor while being easier to produce and maintain, the Falcon quickly became a workhorse of the flotte de volée. Though it lacked the revolutionary edge that had once given France dominance in the Great Sky Race, the class remained dependable and adaptable in both gunboat and torpedo boat configurations. Each ship measures roughly 374 feet long, 157 feet wide, and 142 feet tall, with production models optimized for varying roles within the fleet. The Bretagne is a heavily armed variant of the class. It has a structural integrity of 22 10 movement points and requires 2 hexes before turning, while being assisted by steering gear for improved maneuvering. With a top speed of 51 knots, the Bretagne is both durable and swift for its size. Its armament includes 2 turreted 75mm bow cannons, 2 turreted 138mm guns on each side, and 1 turreted 75mm stern cannon. Armor plating consists of 1 section on the bow and 1 on each side, providing balanced protection across the hull. The ship fields a blue dye anti-air rating, carries a complement of about 234 men, and is oil-fueled, giving it efficient power delivery and range. The Jeanne d'Arc is a heavier, coal-powered variant built for endurance and staying power in extended engagements. It shares the structural integrity of 22, must move 2 hex before turning, and has steering gear. However, it has 8 movement points and a lower top speed of 41 knots. The Jeanne d'Arc mounts a turreted 130mm cannon on its bow with 2 armor plates, backed by 2 75mm cannons on each side with 1 armor each. Like the Bretagne, it features a blue dye anti-air rating, but boasts a larger crew of around 298 men to operate its systems and maintain the coal engines. While both variants share a solid frame and comparable protection, their strengths diverge in operation. The Bretagne excels in speed and balanced firepower, making it ideal for offensive maneuvers and rapid strikes. Whereas the Jeanne d'Arc favors defensive endurance and heavier forward armor suited for prolonged battles. The Jeanne d'Arc does lack rear armament, leading it to be more likely to be enveloped. Together, the two ships reflect the Faucon class's mission: affordable versatility without sacrificing combat effectiveness.
Now we have the stands that come with, so you can stand them up while playing. I like these new versions of the stands. I'm not going to pull them all out right now. I'm just going to set one up for the showing purposes. And those tokens I mentioned earlier for identifying your ship. Oh. Yeah. You take this and you slide it into this little... I'm clumsy. You slide it into this little nook. And now you can identify which ship you have here, so you know which card it is referring to. Stay there, token. Now, one of the other things that came with this were some plane cards for bombers and plane for bombers and fighters, so you can use planes. Very excited for that. And then the other type of card is something called an Admiral card. And I am not entirely sure how these work. I'm very excited to learn. And I'd be glad to try to learn. If you guys have any knowledge about it, please let me know. And last but not least, in this box, we have dice. Different colors of the dice that come with it. On screen, I will be showing right there the types of dice. Now, there's the yellows, blues, greens, reds, black. Once again, right here, numbers. The red dice and the black dice, I wish there were two of, because while it is rare, you can have to roll two of some of these. The other thing I really wish there was, because I did not get one in this, at least, there's a white dice required to figure out which slot you hit on the ship. I have one right here for demonstration. This is from... no, it might not be from that one. Oh, it's from the extra dice we got. But yeah, a little white dice. Now, that is the starter box. I really enjoy this starter box. Wish it came with some torpedoes. I love the art on the front. The ships here in this are good starter ships, give you a good feel of how the game operates. I do like that they started us off with the French and German, because I do really enjoy the looks of those ships and just the feel of those ships. However, I also would like to talk about some of the extra stuff I got from the Kickstarter. Now, through the Kickstarter, I got some extra planes and fighters and bombers, and I'm very happy about that. There is one or two on here that are partially misprinted, although that's not really a big deal to me, but it could irritate some people. I'm gonna keep that over on this side. I got some string, yellow string, like the string from the original game, although the original was white. And I do like that they got the string as a little callback here. Then, next up, a big, much bigger rulebook and a good majority of it, lore book. It has some amazing art. Well, no, that's a map. Amazing art. Some lore. Delves into some uniforms and stuff. I'm definitely going to be reading this. I might review it at some point. Let me know down below if you want to hear some of the lore from this or my thoughts on some of the stories. A Kickstarter map. Once again, love the maps. I got some extra dice, but I'm not going to pull those out right now. Some acrylic tokens, including torpedo tokens and other stuff. And a good amount more of these little fighter cards or bomber cards. And some admiral and commander, like different cards for admiral cards. I am very excited to delve more into this game. I have played it a few times with the new stuff. I've played the old game a lot of times. I really love it. Let me know down below which faction you are most excited for, or which faction you'd want to play. Let me know your thoughts on these ships, or on these bonus items or box. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you around.